Welcome to week 4 of the NFL. I'm Jordan Sharp. I was on the road last week. However, I am back just in time for the weekend's games. But first, a quick yes! The replacement refs are gone and the real refs have returned. So anyway, it's Friday and we have less than 48 hours before the kickoff of this weekend's games. And already, this week's movement has made the first 3 weeks look minuscule in comparison. So we'll start in St. Louis where the Rams welcome the Seahawks in an NFC West battle. The line opened in favor of the Seahawks at -1 and has already moved to -2.5 and -3. While the Seahawks have the unwarranted momentum, the Rams aren't that bad, especially at home in the Edward Jones Dome. So don't be surprised if you see some heavy betting on the other side on the Rams later in the week. We are finally starting to see some lines in the Vikings and Lions game from Detroit. After an injury to Matt Stafford last week, Jim Schwartz and his merry band of misfits have been very mum about his Week 4 status. However, news like this looks like he'll be just fine, and the line has settled, it looks like, to be around -5 in favor of the Lions. However, keep an eye on it. Our big mover of the week goes to the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots from the great north of New York. The Patriots are opened as -7 road favorites and have plummeted to -4. And it's very suspicious since the public is very heavy on the Patriots. Somebody forced that line down, and I doubt they were on Tom Brady and the Pats. The largest spread of Sunday is the Texans and the Titans from Houston. The Texans are -12 favorites, and you have a few choices when picking these games because the line does fluctuate a little bit, but it looks like you're going to be laying around a dozen points if you take the Texans. It might drop some before game time, just like the Thursday game. However, I don't think it'll be very much. The Panthers and Falcons looks like they've settled around -7. That line opened at -9 in favor of the Falcons, but now it's dropped to -7. And as I say a lot, these divisional games are pretty close most of the time, so I don't think it's going to move too much in between now and game time. After a nice upset last week, Raider Nation gets a chance to do it again this week, this time against Peyton Manning. Oakland opened as a +5.5 underdog and now have moved to +6.5. So don't be surprised if this one drops a little bit before Sunday's games, because this is, of course, Raider Nation that we're talking about. Once again, it seems like the books made a rare mistake in the Bengals line for the second week in a row. They opened as a pick'em in Jacksonville and now have moved to anywhere between -2.5 and -3. And I know I've been preaching on the underdogs at home cashing a lot recently, but I think that was because of the replacement refs a lot. So now that the Bengals are -3 in some instances, I know I can't see them losing to Jags. However, that may be exactly what the books want you to believe. A big battle between the angry Packers and the pissed-off Saints. It looks to be the game of the week on Sunday. The Packers opened as a huge -9 favorite, and even though you can get the line at some shops at -7.5 or -8, it looks like the Packers are going to be well over a touchdown favorite at home against the Saints. I know I'm not going to touch the spread with a 10-foot pole, but I think the total might be an interesting proposition, so keep an eye out. So far, Sunday and Monday night's games haven't seen a whole lot of movement. The Eagles are still -1 favorites at home over the Giants on Sunday night, and the Bears are still +3 underdogs in Dallas for Monday Night Football. That will do it for me this week. Be sure to check back on Saturday for my last blog update of the week before the games on Sunday. So until next week, I'm Jordan Sharp, and this has been The Sharp Pick.